Okay, so a lot of people have been asking me about the next rank season, which is going to be a tier 8, apparently. So, like, my opinions, good and bad, about the ships, which I would suggest, which I'm gonna play personally. So, I'm gonna tell you which ships I intend on playing, purely based on the knowledge that I know it's gonna be a tier 8. That's it. I can't tell you if the ships are going to be extremely good, extremely bad, shit, or just OP, or anything like that. We'll see. I can tell you what I expect, how the ships will perform and anything. Nothing is set in stone, and I do like to switch from ship to ship in every rank season and get a feel for it, and I'm adjusting. But I will go into this season with the following picks. Now, I've been waiting for rank battles to come back into tier 8 for a long time now. And my first rank 1 ever was in Amagi. Now, Amagi is a great ship, just like any other tier 8 battleship that's right now available in the game. I'm pretty sure that all are gonna be good picks. So, Amagi, I don't have a lot of luck with Amagi recently. The RNG is just super trolling me, and my guns are inefficient. But that just might be me. If you're doing well with the Amagi, something definitely to consider. A bit shorter on range than the others. It's got like, what, 19.9, something like that? Yeah. But everything else is good. AA might be a bit tricky, but it's tanky. It's got a lot of guns. Good guns if you can make them work. North Carolina, you know, good AA, you can bow tank, and good guns. Just shotgun, you know, they're all over the place. Thanks for the host, runner. Welcome aboard, boys. Tirpitz. Now, Tirpitz is something that I was really dreaming of having back in the day when I got it. While I still didn't have it for the rank season. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna take Tirpitz and I'm gonna, you know, dominate. I'm gonna enjoy this ship because I was a BB main back in the day. Tirpitz is something that's definitely gonna be strong because it has a very good armor, good guns, torpedoes, secondaries. The guns have a very good range, and then when you close a bit, you have secondaries to help you out, and then when you get super close, you have torpedoes. You have a lot of armor, a lot of HP. It's fast, maneuverable ship, good AA. It's just a great ship. I definitely think I will be playing a couple of games in this. Bismarck, basically the same, just without the torpedoes. So you might give it a try. Monarch, I really haven't played this ship that much since the first time, so I really can't tell you. But if you do like it, I would advise you to give it a shot, especially at the start. Any battleship really would be my recommendation, as long as you feel free. If you, not free, just comfortable. If you feel comfortable in it, I think you will find it okay. So nothing really to, you know, pick a preference, but if I would have to, I would probably go Tirpitz and Amagi if you can make the guns work, which I clearly can't recently. It's not working out for me. I don't know why. Cruisers is something that, if the Kutuzov won't be banned, and I haven't heard anything about it, Kutuzov is definitely going to be a good pick. Extremely good range, IFHE, HE, fire, smoke screen, just awesome. New Orleans for the radar, but I haven't really played the ship that much, so I can't really tell you to go for it or not, but it has a radar, which is... Let's just check it out. The radar is 9 km, 30 seconds. 4 charges, 140-second reload. It is not bad. Now, clearly, one thing I forgot to mention is this really depends on the maps. I don't know which maps exactly are going to be in rotation. But you will have to see. You will have to get in, play like 10 games, get a feel for the map rotation, and then realize, oh, this ship is actually going to be useless, or this ship is going to be great. Because not all ships do great on all the maps. Chapayev is an extremely powerful ship, but also very fragile ship. But it has a better, longer range radar. So Chopav is something definitely people are going to be using. Kutuzov is something people are definitely going to be using. When it comes to Mogami, this is so paperish that I wouldn't advise it. Hipper and Prince Eugen, if you build them AA, they're like strong AA. Can be tanky. I'm just not sure if you're gonna be able to carry them or do anything. Edinburgh for sneaky plays, but if you take a smoke screen, okay. But if you take a radar, not sure you're gonna be able to make those guns work. Martel, I usually got always up-tiered in this ship, so I stopped playing it. I actually liked this ship back in the day, but in randoms I'm always against tier 9s and 10s. I fucking hate that. But in its own tier, for fast, if you're feeling like you're a cruiser main and you think you know how to handle and dodge and you're good at shooting and you have a good RNG or, you know, whatever, might be a valuable option. We'll see. Same goes for Takal. You know, if you can dodge the shells, and that heal is definitely going to come in handy. However, how good these two ships are when it comes to AA, we'll see. And let's switch to carriers. I only have a Shokaku and Lexington. I do not have Graf Zeppelin, and I do not have Enterprise. What I can tell you is I wouldn't go for Graf Zeppelin, because the Graf Zeppelin that's right now in the game and that people do have is 2 fighters, 3 HE bombers, and 0 torpedo planes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I remember, that is the original and the latest version that people that bought Graf Zeppelin have, and I don't think that is nearly efficient enough. If it was 2 fighters, 3 torpedoes, maybe. You would have a hard time with the fighters. If it's the latest test that we had with those crazy AP bombs and everything, yeah, definitely. But if that's the one that you're getting, I would not advise it. As Enterprise, I do not have, but it has a lot. It has loads of planes and loads of fighters. At least I think it does. And that might be an interesting option. Shokaku is always a valuable option. Shokaku is my favorite tier 8 carrier. Unfortunately, in randoms, you usually end up in a tier 9 and 10. So it's not as powerful, but if people... It gives you options. You have 2-2-2, you have 3-1-2. First being fighters, second torpedo planes, and then dive bombers. So... if you know how to play, if you can handle your planes, if you're good at multitasking, especially with the left hand, the carrier players will understand what I'm referring to. I think Shokaku is going to be always a good pick. Now, one thing that I'm very curious is to see how people are going to make Lexington plays. Because you only get 1 fighter squadron, and as powerful as that may be, I don't think that's going to be enough to protect anything valuable, because if you come up against an Enterprise or a Shokaku, they can outplay you with fighters, and you will lose your fighter. You will take you a couple of minutes to get the next fighter in the air. Everything is going to be bristling with AA. Not too sure about that. Torpedo planes, you get 1 squadron. What you can do with that, it's not going to be super easy to kill DDs, I can tell you that much, but hey. And then the dive bombers. Yes, the APs are extremely powerful, but people in ranked usually tend to stick together. And if people are sticking together, there's gonna be AAs, and then the APs might not be that good. And you can't get the fires unless you go HE. If you go HE, well, why not just go... I don't know, you can try, but I don't think, as powerful as the Lexington is, I do not think that this is gonna be a good option, because everything else, every other carrier just has more squadrons than you, so it has more options. And I believe I covered that, and now we come to the most important thing, which you probably all are interested about, and that's the destroyers. Now, I'll cover it from my point of view, how I play, how it's suiting me, what I think about it. You can disagree, and you can voice about it, of course. There's no point in arguing to me like you are wrong. It's like, that's my opinion. If you want to stick around and listen, feel free. If you think that I'm wrong, you are free to state it, but I'm telling you, this is gonna be my opinion. Number one pick for me, like, I will mention this just one more time. I don't know, is it going to be the best pick? I have to go into the game, I have to play 15-20 ranked games to get a feel for it, and then I can see, this is actually too good, this is too bad, this should be better, I need a destroyer that's a bit better here, I can get it to be weaker here, it's not a big deal. So, Lo Yang would be definitely my number one pick from the experience. It has... where is it? Torpedoes, the ones that I use are 9.2 km, 55 knots. Now I have plenty of experience in this, so it works for me. People usually ask me why you pick those torpedoes, purely because of range. 9.2 km is okay. Everything that's around 10 km for a destroyer is good, regardless of the tier. 55 knots may be slow, but it can work when people are camping, when you catch them by surprise. It works for me. Torpedoes are okay-ish. When it comes to AA defense, that's gonna be interesting. We're gonna leave that for later. Maneuverability is as good as it gets. Concealment is well, this is 6.4. This is something we need to change. No, not the Yin Yang, the Yu Yang. Here we go. Now, come on. Concealment is 5.8. That is extremely good. The only thing this can go any better is if you're in a Kagero, I believe. Yeah, detectability 5.5, that's without the camo. So if you throw in a camo, whatever, just put it on. It goes down to 5.4. Now, the only thing I can tell you about the Kagero is 5.4 detection. If you like Japanese DDs, if you can make the torpedoes work, go for it. Be careful. 5.4 is gonna be useful. You're gonna know if there's someone coming for you. You have like 400 or 500 meters extra knowledge, and that can be very valuable. Very valuable. That's the only thing I'm gonna tell you about Kagero. Now, to go back on the Lo Yang, concealment is 5.8, and as I'm sure that's the only DD that has a better. Maybe Hadekaze, let me check. 6.0 without the captain. Yeah, okay. Hadekaze can have just like Kagero. So these two, if you can make them work with torpedoes, go for it. If but for me, they're kind of one-trick ponies. I don't know. I prefer to be maneuverable, as low detection as I can, to have okay torpedoes that I'll try to make work, and guns that are okay. And Lo Yang is something I can definitely rely on. And with the survivability expert, you get 17.4 thousand HP, which is not bad. Now, for the captain, preventive maintenance, you don't want to be losing torpedo tubes. You don't want to be losing guns, especially not torpedo tubes. Last stand, adrenaline rush, more HP, you definitely need that. Superintendent, because more hydros, more smokes, more backup for your team. RPF, so you actually have a general idea where the destroyer is, especially in the late game. And of course, concealment expert. Now, you could tweak this a bit and go, maybe I will go for, I don't know, instead of superintendent, the BFT, or more torpedo reload, or demolition expert, maybe even acquisition, but you know, ranked are basically gonna promote you to play as a team, so I would stick with this. This is gonna be very useful to you and to the team. This is non-negotiable. You go for this, don't ask, just take more HP. You take a torp, you survive. Concealment, non-negotiable. RPF, yeah, you could go without this, but if you have a huge amount of experience and you know what you're doing, okay, but I would still advise, especially if you don't have that much experience, just take it, and it will make you feel safer. You will know at least where the torpedoes are coming from. Last stand is something I will not even discuss. Every single destroyer in this game, this is a must, okay? Preventive maintenance, yes. Why not the priority target, you ask? Because if you're spotted, everybody and their mothers should be aiming at you and are probably going to be aiming at you. So you don't need it. When you're spotted, everybody's looking at you. Have that implemented in your brain and go with that. So you can actually, you basically have this without, you know, without the number telling you that everybody's looking. Adrenaline rush, when you do lose some HP, you actually kind of profit from it. That's the only positive side. Nothing else is extremely needed. This might be, but you can go without it. So adrenaline rush or this, or if you're super scared about something, you want to, you know, you can go for a few seconds faster, or maybe this. But I would advise the adrenaline rush. And this is the captain build that I use on my low yang. This is the captain build that I use on my yu yang, the Benson, and I would stick to it in randoms and in ranked. Now, one other thing you can go for, and that's full AA build. I don't have the captain right here right now, I think. No, actually, I do. Kid. On the kid, I have it like BFT, AFT, manual, concealment, 444. Now, that very much limits the other options you can go for. But I just love Kid's AA. If there's gonna be a lot of carriers, and this is situational, if there's gonna be a lot of carriers in the game, Kid might be very useful. Like if every game you play, or 4 out of 5 you play, there's a carrier, Kids are gonna be a good option. The AA is gonna be extremely fucking hard to deal with for the carrier, trust me. You are having also an American smokescreen, which is super long. You have 5 guns, not 4. You're a bit short on torpedoes, but you can still provide sort of a torpedo wall here and there. They're mostly there for like YOLO rushes or self-defense, but you can surprise people sometimes. And then you're like priority target and prevent the maintenance, because there's really nothing better to go for when you're left with 2 ones. One thing that Kid, excuse me, one thing that Kid does have that the others don't is a heal. Now here, as you can see, I don't have the survivability expert or the superintendent. This is something I just use in randoms, because if there's a plane, I want it shot down. So I went full retard mode and full AA. You can tweak this, of course. You can go the same build as you would go for a Benson or the low yang. However, if you're taking Kid, well, you're taking it purely based on the fact that there are carriers, so you do want your AA working. When the Kid triggers the AA, defensive AA, planes are not flying around it, okay? It does have a good AA, but when you press that skill, the planes are gone. Why I personally don't have survivability expert is because you have 3 heals anyway. With a premium consumable, you have 3 heals, and what, you get less than 2000 HP with this skill, and with 3 heals you can heal a lot more. Now you could argue, okay, why don't I just go this and superintendent and have a lot more HP? Yeah, okay, you can go for it, but if you're going Kid, you're going because you want AA, and if you want to go AA, just might as well build it full AA. Now this is something you can argue about, and there's plenty of options you can explore on the Kid. If you want to go full AA, you can go like this, you can cut somewhere, you can maybe get rid of BFT or AFT or manual, you can implement this or this. It's up to you. Like, there's plenty of things you can do with this destroyer. You will just have to go into the rank season and see how it goes. Same thing for Benson, basically. If you want to go Benson, make it like low yang or make it like Kid. Depends, do you want the AA or do you want just the regular one? So we covered Harakaze, Kagero, Kid, Benson, low yang. That leaves us Kiev, Z23, Aki. Okay, Aki is something I personally do not like. This destroyer is just not for me. I'm not telling you not to go for this DD. If you love this DD and if you can make it work, do it. But it's sluggish. It's sluggish. Concealment is 6.6. that's just without the concealment expert. Okay, if you put a concealment expert, that's 10%, that gives you about 6 km detection, right? That's worse than the others. It's sluggish. The HP, yeah, it gets a lot of HP, I give it that much. But fuck that HP when you're sluggish. The time it takes it to turn, you're gonna lose it. You don't have a heal, unlike the kid. You're, you know, heavy AA, but so is the kid. Okay, kid is the premium, this is not. I get it. Akizuki actually gets only 4 torpedoes, kid gets 5. Sure, these torpedoes should hurt more. Where is it? Yeah, these torpedoes hurt a lot more, they have more range, they are faster, but it's only 4 torpedoes, how hard can it be to dodge them? If you go for torpedo reload booster, you get 8. Wow, congratulations, but you don't have a smoke screen. How are you gonna contest the caps or anything, especially if you're the only DD? Now, usually, the lower in ranks you go, the more destroyers per team there are. Maybe you can get away with this later on, maybe not, we'll see. It depends on the season, really. It depends what the meta is gonna be. But you know, if you're going for this, you're basically counting on oh yeah, shit, fuck, what am I talking about? You can have, well, I'm an idiot. You can have both a smoke screen and a torpedo reload booster. Has this changed? Well, I'm out of the loop. Okay, well then, belay everything I said. Smoke screen and a torpedo reload booster means you get 8 torpedoes that are pretty fast and pretty deadly. Have a better range than kid, and you can have a smoke screen. Smoke screen is, you know, crap in compared to US, but interesting. Wow, this kinda caught me off the guard. I completely forgot that you can have both. Interesting, interesting, interesting. If people feel like they like the Akizuki, and if you're playing it in randoms and you're making it work, then yeah, I encourage you to give it a shot. Because you can fire 4 torpedoes, and every now and then you can fire 8 when you feel the need. You do have a smoke screen, which is shit, but at least you have it, and you can build it like AA, so you're safe from the carrier. You have a lot of HP, but you're sluggish. The detection is worse than the others, but not my preference. I don't like this destroyer, but if you're okay with it, go for it. When it comes to Kiev, no, I don't think so. It's gonna be 7 versus 7 or 8 versus 8 format, I believe. There's just not enough. There's just not enough players in the game to actually have you wandering around alone and having fun harassing someone, especially if there's carriers around. So I wouldn't advise Russian, well, Kiev at least, because it's, I don't know, it's just, you need time. You need a lot of time to make this DD work. And torpedoes are 10 torpedoes, 55 knots, 8 km. It's worse than Benson when it comes to torpedoes. It's just a worse Benson. When it comes to guns, it's a lot better than the Benson or the Loyang or the Kid, but it's also bigger. Not to mention its detection, which is fucking atrocious. It's huge. I don't have a concealment expert here, but drop this by 10%. You drop it for less than 800 meters, so it's like 7.1. It's still huge. It's huge. You're not going to be contesting anything. Now, just imagine if you're the only DD in the team. Goodbye to the cap points. You have to play aggressive, but yeah, it's selfish. These kind of destroyers I personally don't prefer because they're selfish kind of destroyers and they don't have that big of an impact on the game. And in my opinion, in the ranked battle, every ship needs to have a very big impact because you never know when you're going to be, you know, you're going to need to be the one to carry. That leaves us with Ognavoy, which concealment 6.1 I have. Yes, I have everything. So 6.1 concealment is not bad, but it's not great either. It also gets 10 torpedoes, which go 10 km knots and 10 km, 56 knots, 10 torpedoes. It's almost like Benson, although I believe the reload on these is better. Yeah, 82 seconds. So you can spam torpedoes a lot more, but this really relies on the map picks. We don't know which maps are going to be played, or at least I don't know yet. So you can be a torpedo spammer, but if a map is not suited for it, nah. So I don't know. Survivability wise, do I have? No, I don't. So okay, this can go like 18k, which is not bad, but still nothing special. I don't think this is gonna be too good of a pick. When it comes to guns, you only have 2 turrets. Torpedoes are really not that great, besides the reload. The smoke is kind of crap. It doesn't pack any hydro or anything. It can have a defensive AA, but so can Benson. It's going to be much more reliable than this, so I wouldn't really recommend it like this at a first glance. And that leaves us at the end just with Z23, which is just a worse Loyang. It has the same amount of guns, bigger caliber, the turrets turn slower, and they reload slower. You have more HP, sure, but you have also a very much worse hydro, because the hydro on the Z23 is 4.44, and the hydro on the Loyang is 5.43. So Loyang is gonna out hydro you big time. Also, it's gonna outspot you, because the Z23 is 6.2 detection. Loyang is 5.8. Now again, you could be going like, but, you know, Flambas, this is a premium, this one is not. What if I don't have a premium? When it comes to premium ships, Loyang is gonna be my number 1 pick. And number 2 pick, believe it or not, is going to be something that I, for some reason, don't even have in my port yet. Now that is fucking interesting. Where is it? Xiang Yang. Oh, I didn't have any ports. Whatever. Okay, so one thing that I want to discuss about this destroyer, what I left for the last piece of the puzzle. This thing packs a smoke screen, which is very short duration. It lasts for 70 seconds. You're deploying it for 30 seconds, and then the last puff will last for 70 seconds, and then after 10 seconds have passed of you not being in the smoke, you have a new smoke. So this DD, and it has 4 regular smoke screens, 1 with a premium consumable, so that's 5. And if you pack a superintendent, that's 6 smoke screens. Now you can be a serious pain in the ass with this destroyer spamming the guns. This is basically a Benson with a better smoke, if you ask me, because it's, you deploy a smoke, you stay in it, and then you move, and very fast you have a new one. If you fucked up your smoke, you have a new one very soon. If you need to help someone, you can extract them easy and not feel like, fuck, now I don't have a smoke screen for myself for a few minutes. No, you do. By the time you get back into the battle, you have a new smoke screen, and you help them, you know, dodge the bullet. It will be fast to the caps, because it has something you can't change for anything else. The engine boost. But why I will be using this DD, or at least give it a try, especially if there's gonna be a lot of DDs in the game and not a lot of carriers, is surveillance radar. Now this is a tier 8 destroyer that packs 3 with superintendent 4, well 2 with, you know, premium consumable and superintendent. You can have 4 surveillance radars that last for 15 seconds, and the detection is 7.5, the reload is 2 minutes. Now the reload is normal. The range is just like USS Black, which is 7.5 km, which is not bad. It's not great, but it's more than enough to radar anything that's in the cap. 15 seconds may not seem like much, but it's more than enough to get the resets done. And if the fleet is looking where you're looking, you're gonna be a serious pain in the butt as a contester of the cap. Now, if there's more destroyers in your team, you're not the only one, you can actually use someone else's smoke, and this radar, you're gonna dominate the cap. Not even Lo Yang is going to be able to, unless it can sustain those 15 seconds, and all the blind fire that's going to be going on. Okay, but he needs to get a lot closer than you. You can do it from the safe range. You can spot him and not be spotted, and he can't do the same to you. So, something I will definitely be trying. I can't recommend it yet, because I don't know if it's going to work. And if there's going to be carriers can just keep you spotted, and the enemy team can pummel you, and that's going to be a problem. You don't have a heal, you don't have a smoke, if you go for radar. So this is something I will definitely be trying out, both smoke screen and radar version. But like I said, it's one of those things that we will definitely need to dig into the ranked season a bit to take a look. So Xiangyang and Lo Yang are something like my favorite picks without having any knowledge, any experience in the, you know, how people are gonna play. When it comes to non-premium, well, this is a non-premium, this is a premium one. You can always substitute these with just a regular Benson. You don't get the Hydro, but you get the AA, or, you know, Kid or Benson with B-Hull, 5 guns. There's variations. If you want a torpedo boats, you have Kagero and Harakaze, depending on what you have. Z23, you can try to make it work if that's the best you got, but I think it's just too short on everything, besides HP. You know, the worse detection, bigger caliber guns but slower reload, the guns don't turn that fast, you're a bit more sluggish, you have a better or worse detection, no AA, Torps are meh, you know, just meh. If that's all you got, you know, good luck, but it can work, of course, it can work, but if you come across any of the DDs like Xiangyang and Lo Yang, Harakaze, Kagero, Kid, they're just gonna outspot you, they can outmaneuver you, they can outplay you. So, you know, make your pick. There's some really good picks, there's like 10 different things you can go for. There's never been more variations to the subject, you know, you can go for anything you like pure torpedoes, guns and torpedoes, AA guns, AA and torps, there's everything. Just sit down and think, what do you want to go for? What is the strong things that you want to have, and what are you willing to sacrifice? And the answer will be pretty obvious. When it comes to modules, I just want to mention a few things. I won't go too much in depth with this, but concealment is something like, you know, if you're a DD, it's absolutely a must. And the second best, if not the best module in the game, propulsion modification 2. Please, destroyer captains, please, unless you're Kiev, pack this shit. If you need to go into the cap, if you think you're gonna be stationary or going slow or in smoke screens, take this, it will save your life. It saved mine more times than I can count. Seriously, take this propulsion modification 2. Here, variation to the subject. If you want to be more precise, if you think, you know, you can use your smoke a bit differently, I usually go for AA because it gives my AA a bit booster. Nothing here seems to me like it's gonna give me too much of an edge, but having a, you know, I always like to boost my AA whenever I get the chance, just in case there's a carrier. You know, killing one torpedo plane can make a difference between life and death. Here I would go for damage control modification 1. You will get hit in a destroyer, and reducing those floodings and fire chances to the maximum is something I would advise. Engine boost modification 1, you know, unless you're Kiev, and these things are just bypassed with last stand, I guess. So this is something I would go for. This is basically what I'm telling you right now on all the DDs. Yeah, I need to mount this. And the first one is don't even break sweat about it. Main armaments modification 1, because you don't want to be losing guns and torpedoes. So that's the modules on basically all the DDs besides the weird ones like Kiev. Or whatever. I don't think you can pack a surveillance radar special module on a tier 8. I think it's only for tier 9s and 10s. If you can do it, but I don't think you can. And that's basically it. We covered the destroyers a bit more in depth because I am a DD main. Carriers, you know, boost your planes with the captain skills as much as you can. Play smart. Expect that people will go heavy fighters and expect to suffer a lot of casualties, but you're there to scout. That's how you play competitive. You're there to scout and you pick your chances and you preserve your planes for the late game when some of the players are already dead. Battleships, be careful. Just be careful. One thing I forgot to mention is this destroyer, Xiangyang, has deep water torpedoes. They are ridiculously stealthy, guys. They are ridiculously stealthy, and they hurt like hell, and there's a great chance of a flooding. If they catch you on the bad footing, you will regret your life decisions. However, one thing that this destroyer is going to be weaker is it can't do anything to destroyers with its torpedoes. That's why exactly I will try to utilize the radar. You know, I will try to be useful to my team, at least spotting DDs. If I can't damage them myself, I will at least provide my team with a radar. I will try, so they can damage it. So I'm still useful when it comes to DDs, and I'm very deadly when it comes to everybody else. We'll see. So be careful with the battleship, you know, HE spam, torpedoes, carriers. Don't go wandering off alone. And don't be too far in the back, and don't be YOLOing if it's not the proper time. You know, try to play compact with your team. When it comes to cruisers, cruiser captains out there, you know better than me. You really probably know better than me how it is to play a cruiser. Do what you can. Really, do what you can. Don't be useless. Don't be a hero. It won't end well for you or your team. You know, you have to find that perfect balance. Cruiser is something that's very difficult to play, especially considering BBs are super fucking powerful. You take 1 or 2 torpedoes, you don't have a heal unless you're a Tago. And that's it. I hope this will help you. My picks would definitely be like Loyang, Tirpitz, and a Kutuzov. Like my top 3 picks for this season, going blind in, would be that, and a Enterprise or a Shokaku. I never played Enterprise, so it's kind of hard to say, but I did play Shokaku, so I know what I can expect from it. Like I said, I hope this helps. Do your best, good luck, and I'll catch you on the field when the rank hits.